From Kern Government Television, welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting, originating from the County Administrative Center located at 1115 Truxtun Avenue, Bakersfield, California. Kern County's vision is to create and maintain a customer-centered county government designed to garner the confidence, support, and trust of the people we serve. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Good morning and welcome to the Monday special session of the Kern County Board of Supervisors. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Supervisor Gleason?
Here.
Supervisor Scribner?
Here.
Supervisor Maggard?
Here.
Supervisor Couch?
Here.
Supervisor Perez?
We're going to start the morning with a salute to the flag. Supervisor Scribner, would you mind leading us in the flag salute?
Place your hand over your heart. Salute. Pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Thank you, Supervisor Scribner. Mr. Nations, do we have any report to receive from any closed session? I believe we've done that before. We don't have to do that now, right? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we always offer an opportunity for the public to speak to us this morning about any matters that are not otherwise on our agenda. Are there any members of the public this morning that would like to come forward to say anything to us regarding any matter that is not otherwise on our agenda today? You have something, sir?
My name is Bruce Greaves.
Mr. Greaves, come on down. Mr. Greaves, we allow 2 minutes for members of the public to speak to us during this time on our agenda. So with that 2 minutes in mind, please identify yourself for the record. And hey, you're a tall fellow. Could you pull the microphone up a little bit? Thank you, sir. I want to make sure we hear you.
Hi.
Please proceed.
My name is Bruce Greaves. Should I spell my name?
No, sir. I think we have it.
Okay.
Thank you.
My name is Bruce Greaves. I come to the Board of Supervisors today to ask that the attention be given to the properties on the Taft Airport, and that the equal and fair rental costs be offered to each. My business has been there for the last 20 years with no problem with the past two directors, Ray Bishop and Jack Gocher. The current director has filed a lawsuit against me after finding my business had extended the boundaries of my lease. During the court proceedings, the issues of insurance was pinpointed, causing a delay, and that it was harmful to my case. The unresolved issues of insurance policy was submitted 3 times and returned, and at the last request, they said that they didn't know if it was the right insurance. They had to send it off to an expert. I have been insured as a renter on the Taft Airport for the last 20 years, growing my business and expanding my equipment, now past the boundaries of my lease. This equipment, as you have seen in the photos I have sent, is immovable. These issues have not been the concern until recently, when I was offered additional land use for the rental cost of $2,000 per month for the adjacent property that was larger than the size contained of my building. Renting of the adjacent properties that are larger in size and contain buildings are renting the property for $250 a month. So I refused, and then I was denied the land altogether. I am here to ask that you help me resolve this matter so we can settle it once and for all, and so I can hold on to my welding shop, which is my life. I built this welding shop from the ground up. I don't want to lose it. I am here to ask to be put on the agenda so we may sit down and solve these problems together and come together as a community. I'm needed in the community here. I'm the only welding shop left on the west side. All the other ones have closed.
Okay.
People come from all over for me to fix their parts in the oil fields. I don't want to lose my shop. I put a trailer out front of my shop because I'm trying to comply with the American Disabilities Act. As we know, that is a very serious matter nowadays in this modern age in which we live.
Thank you, Mr. Greaves. I've allowed you some extra time to be able to conclude your thoughts.
Sorry.
I appreciate no, not a problem, sir. Appreciate you coming forward to share your concerns with us. Do we need to, is there a response from staff or from any member of the board before we, oh, there are other people that want to speak. I'm sorry. Yes, sir. Please come forward. Mr. Greaves, could you have a seat?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Chief. Could you give us your name for the record, sir?
Yeah, good morning. My name is Ed Whiting, and I'm the police chief for the city of Taft. Mr. Greaves runs a welding and tank fabrication business from the hangar that he leases at Taft Airport from the County of Kern Airports, and he owns, as far as I know, no airplanes that I'm aware of. Mr. Greaves has no city business license to operate a welding business, let alone a tank fabrication business, and pays no property taxes at the county for this business. Mr. Greaves received no prior permission to expand his business outside of his hangar. He started with a couple thousand square feet inside the hangar. Now he's expanded to 35,000 square feet, mostly outside the hangar. Mr. Greaves constructed the outbuilding next to his leased hangar, anchored it on 6 buried concrete pylons. He's received no permits, no inspections, filed no environmental impact reports, no engineering reports prior to the installation or completion of that project. Other city businesses see Mr. Greaves as violating zoning ordinances, failing to obtain permits and inspections, and they want to know why they should comply since he's not. Residents who live in the airport addition have expressed their concerns to the city of Taft, and they're worried about property values, understanding that they knew they lived next to the airport, not to such a large fabrication business. Basically, Mr. Greaves has been doing what he wants regardless of what any city or county officials have had to say about it. And that is what your airport manager has been having to deal with. There's a few pictures here, I believe, that we have to show you. This is a tank fabrication that he installed outside. If we go to the next picture, that's the outside of his business. It looks like about a 4-foot thick by 20 by 30 foot slab that he put in. Again, no permits, no inspections, no dirt work. Next. That's the back side of his hangar. It shows you all the equipment that's out there, the things that he does at his business. Next. This is the only one that he actually got a permit for, but as you can see, it's quite extensive, the work that was done. But this, again, is what the airport manager has been having to deal with, and the city of Taft has had to deal with in this matter. And I thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief, for bringing these matters to our attention. Are there any other members of the public that would like to speak to us this morning with regard to anything that is not otherwise on our agenda? Okay. No, sir. We get you one bite of the apple there. Okay, are there any members of staff or the board that would like me to make any comment before we proceed?
Mr. Chairman, just to round out the discussion here, the county has obtained 2 judgments against Mr. Greaves, and under those judgments, he is required by the court's order to vacate the premises that he's currently occupying by the 19th of April. Those judgments are established and are as a matter of law. I think what he is asking today is to somehow negotiate a deal with the airport that would render those judgments moot. But I wanted to make you aware that we do have those judgments and they are in effect. Thank you.
Thank you. Just so that we then give some indication of what will happen next, will staff deal with Mr. Greaves, or is there any action incumbent upon us?
No, there's no action incumbent upon you. In fact, you can't take any action since there's agendized.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Greaves, for bringing your concerns to us this morning, and Mr. Chief Whiting for your perspective as well. Not seeing any other members of the public wishing to speak, we have an item in closed session today that has been agendized, and I would request that we have a motion to adjourn to closed session, and we will proceed with our closed session agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion without objection, so ordered. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.